problem that Nigerian economy had was not the recession, it was not the devaluation, it was not the inflation. Those were symptoms of the problem. The problem was the liquidity shortage. The problem was the inadequate foreign exchange supply. That was the problem you needed to solve. If you could get the money, the recession would end. And there would be no need for devaluation. And the premium on the prime market would disappear. And the inflation being driven by the devaluation has abated as the prime market rate appreciated. The inflation has abated steadily. So if in 2016 there was anything you could do that could fetch you 50 billion US dollars, you forget that story that you saw play out about recession, about devaluation, would never have played out. Inadequate foreign exchange supply constrains the central bank from being counter-cyclical. So the central bank is forced to be pro-cyclical. That in the face of contraction, you tighten. You continue your tight policy stance. For you to be able to ease, you have to get the money to be able to meet demand on the foreign exchange market. Specifically for the decision of the central bank to maintain all policy variables, which is the same thing they have done since July 2016. So it'll be 2 years next month that the Central Bank Monetary Policy Committee had met and they had maintained all the rates. So it would be like the 7th meeting or so. And in doing that, they took the right decision. In that, yes, inflation has fallen for 15 consecutive months. It's been 16 now after the meeting. Yes, the prime market exchange rate has strengthened from 520 in February 2017 to 360 today. But it's been at 360 since June last year, so it's been at 360 for a year. Reserves had grown from 30 billion over that 1 year to 47 billion, and it hasn't impacted on the 360, or the premium between the 360 and the 305. So for the central bank to ease, first, that premium must close. Yeah. As long as there is a premium, however they wish to ease, they should not, because it just widen the premium. And then since the central bank's desired inflation rate is single digit, the inflation rate is merely approaching single digit now. It's not there yet. So you can't ease when you have not even achieved. Are we? So you like to see, the inflation in single digit, and that is likely to remain in single digit. And you like to see that the gap between the exchange rates close before the central bank can ease. So what is the ARGP telling the central bank to do? And there's no mystery in this one. Get the foreign exchange, finish. Get the money. And this is the oldest idea, one of the oldest ideas in macroeconomics. They used to call it bullionism. And it holds that if a country has more bullions than another, it is more powerful than that other. Long and short, you have the money, you have the power. You don't have the money, you don't have the power. So get the money. And the money is foreign exchange. They call it bullionism. Money answered. That's what the Bible said. So what, don't say GP. I don't have to read 100 pages. Say it in one sentence. What should the central bank do? Get the money. You can't be holding 7 meetings and not being able to do anything. How long do you want to do that for? It's because you don't have the money. Get money. If you can't get it from exports, get it from your assets, equity. It's very straightforward. We've talked about, do it. Just sit down and tell me stories. At the end of the day, you can't do anything. You can't cut interest rates. You can't ensure that the banks will find money to lend to businesses. You have to handpick agricultural companies yourself and be helping them. Get the money. Stop. So the problem that Nigeria has is that oil price collapse, and it has cut our export revenue to less than half. Deal with that. That's what triggered recession. That's what triggered devaluation. That's what triggered inflation. And that's why you now fund infrastructure. So why do we have to talk about 10 things? You have one problem. Get the money. In 1990, before India started their reform, Nigeria hosted more API than India. In fact, Nigeria hosted more, in the early 90s, hosted more FDI than India, than UAE, than South Africa, than Korea Republic. But there's something they have learned that we need to learn about how to get the investment in. One after the other, they all overtook us. Is that not? And India used to have 1/6 of what we had. Now they have 3 times what we have. So illiquidity, the naira is 360 to the dollar on the BDC, compared with 1 to the dollar in 1985, because of illiquidity. They go out of their way to get the liquidity. It makes their foreign exchange rate stable. We sit down waiting for the export revenue to come, and if the export revenue doesn't come, the exchange rate can tumble all it wants. We don't care. There are enough people on the street, economic analysts who want the naira to go to 1,000. For them, just float the exchange rate, and there will be El Dorado. These countries are not advised by people like that. The people who advise these Nigerian peer countries tell them, get the money. And they turn to their foreign citizens. So, hey, send money home. And they do. Today, India gets more from its diaspora than it gets in foreign direct investment. So if you had the purpose, if you were really serious about looking for foreign exchange, rather than your monetary policy committee having a meeting, sitting for a meeting every 2 months, and because of inadequate foreign exchange, cannot take action. If you engage your diaspora, they will bring the money. They will give you will get better than the $1 billion you raised at the Euro bond market. You get better than the $3 billion that you raised. We issued diaspora bonds earlier this year. Guess how much we issued? 300 million. So you need to encourage the government to think big. The problems that confront us is big. And our response to that problem must be commensurate. Investment policy, we have it, but we don't use it. And you see Saudi Arabia using it now. You saw India use it. We have to learn to use it. So, but the main policy issue is item D there, is that we have been unresponsive. Policy has been unresponsive to cyclical shocks. The shocks come and we do nothing. Policy has been unresponsive to structural shifts. So we need to be responsive. And we need to routinize that responsiveness. Make it routine. You know, that there are two approaches. There are two different approaches, parallel approaches. One is risk management. One is strategy management. NDIC, here present, represented by Enterprise Risk Management Department. Is that no? Strategy Department and Research Department. Is that not? So I presume that the Research Department will provide the outlook. Is that not? The Risk Department will identify the threats and develop program for mitigating the threats. Then the Strategy Department will identify the opportunities. No, not threats. Opportunities. Is that we want our future to be better than our present. And it is the role of strategy to ask the question, for me to get that future, what did you have to do 10 years ago? So that's the role of strategy. Say, hey, look, we can be in a better position tomorrow. But for us to be in better position tomorrow, we must take those steps, these steps today. And if we take those steps today, we will be there. That's strategy. It's about making happen what you desire. Risk is about protecting yourself from identified threats. So rather than just sit there and bewail where Nigeria has been and blame leaders, why don't we think through these are the different futures? If we do nothing, our present will remain our future. And if we are not careful, since our present is better than our past, if we consider 2016 our past, if we are not careful, our past will become our future. But there are better futures than the present, than the past. And you can get it. But getting it depends on what you do. That you must do A, B, and C to get that better future. So the future is your choice. It is a choice. That's why we're here. That's why we do strategy. So a better future is a possibility for Nigeria. Whether Nigeria gets that better future or not depends on what you do.